Kevin, when you're coming into a business, there's all different things that you need to actually look at, to assess, to be able to measure. And I know you've come up with at least 3 things, the 3 Ps, that you can help use to measure business success, how you can look at your marketing from kind of a bird's eye view. So talk to us about those 3 things.
Okay, so let's talk about the problem just briefly.
Yes.
Most business owners have no idea what marketers are really doing, whether it's their agency or their in-house team. And that's not because they're not intelligent. They may have a high level understanding, but there's a lot of lack of clarity. So from the business owner perspective, or the marketing manager's perspective, or the CMO, or in my case as an advisor, what I want to look for is kind of 3 ingredients that I can, at a glance, see what's going on and what are the results, what are the inputs and outputs.
Right.
So the way I organize that is projects, processes, and performance. Projects are the things that we're working on that are not recurring. They're one-time. They're big. They may be large. They might be small, but they're one-time events that are happening. It's like building infrastructure. That should take, that's most of your time. Call it 50% of your time. Another 20 or 30% of your time should be running the process. And so the processes are the things that get done on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis. They're the fundamentals that you just want to do. Like, you want to make sure all comments get replied to on social media, and you want to check your email support inbox every day, or your what have you. So and monthly you want to do your reporting. So you want to know what those things are that tick along. And as a business owner or as a marketing leader, you want to make sure that you design those systems really, really well, and that they're foolproof, so you can create consistent outcomes and just know that the fundamentals are getting done every single month. And then the third part is performance, and that's where you want to have some kind of a performance dashboard, or I use a spreadsheet because it just works the best, and you can have numbers relate to one another the easiest. The simplest thing is often the best tool. And so what that tells us is, okay, we know we're inputting ad hoc through projects. We know we're inputting through process, and that's constantly repeating and recurring. So we know that the fundamentals are getting, and every good idea has been turned into a system, rather than, hey, that was a good idea. You run that campaign once, you forget about it forever, and you never do it again. And then what are the actual results that are coming out of this, so we can, if there's an issue or if something is working, we can figure out what parts of the system are working and what parts do we need to stop doing or continue to do more of in order to work. So it's less about, hey, marketing manager, you're not doing your job. And now it's more about, hey, something about this system isn't functioning the way we need it to.
Right.
What do we need to build as a project? What do we need to improve as our process, or add or remove? And then how is that, watching the numbers to see how it impacts it over time.
So would you recommend that kind of business owners and advisors look at that on, let's say, a monthly, a quarterly basis? Because obviously, some of these things that are systems, they may take a while to take effect and fully roll out, right?
Yeah. So, numbers are best looked at over years, especially with marketing, because there's really you wouldn't put money in the stock market and hope that it's coming back to you that same month, although it's really tempting to do that. So we have to be realistic that only 3 to 5% of your potential target market is buying sometime around today. So most of your ideal target market is not buying even close to now. And even if you get in front of the people who are willing to buy sometime around today, you still typically have to nurture them, warm them up to the idea of buying from you before they'll go on to purchase. So we have to remember that as much as we put all these inputs in, we want to be looking at it as a multi-year measurement process. And that requires us to think much broader than the quarterly goals only.